I'm a New York real estate broker based in Brooklyn. I started my career in 2015 in Brooklyn, New York. I moved here from Boston, Massachusetts, originally from Brockton, and it was the worst snowstorm and like that we've seen in the last 10 to 12 years. And I remember driving here, 30 years old, just turned 30, and not really knowing what to do. I was working at Enterprise Rent Car at the time, a bunch of odd jobs in my 20s, and I always wanted to do real estate. Even when I was in college, I did a thesis statement in my entrepreneur class of a 50-unit building that I wanted to develop, but that didn't really amount to anything. My teachers were, they wanted to get involved, they wanted to get engaged, but I really wasn't pursuing it like I should. Worked a bunch of odd jobs in my 20s, modeling, acting, did some of that stuff, and at 30, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I was washing cars, renting out cars, and I remember right here on State Street in downtown Brooklyn, I was like, I'm not gonna wash a car again. And I quit my job. They were offering promotions and whatnot. I just didn't want to be there. I quit my job, got my real estate license, took the class, started interviewing for a lot of different brokers. I went to City Habitats, I went to Halstead at the time, I don't even know if they're around. I went to Halstead, I went to Corcoran. I didn't go to Nest Seekers, but I interviewed for Highline was one of them I went to. And I interviewed and just kind of wanted to see what brokerage would give me the best training. And it happened to be City Habitats. So they had some good training, and I went in there, and they wanted us to do 6 rentals at first. And I got into real estate for big money. I was like, I'm gonna do sales. So I was pursuing sales. This is a funny story. So at the time, City Habitats would hang up photos of all the new agents. It was about 20 of us, and the stat was like 10% of us would survive. 2 people out of this class would make it. So I'm not sure who else is in that class still doing real estate 7 years later, but I think I know one other person within my circle that's still doing real estate within that class. Long story short, I got the training that I needed. The 2 things that I took away from this training at City Habitats, which I encourage every young entrepreneur, everyone who's starting in real estate, to get the proper training, right? Get the proper training first, get on a team. So I got the training, and my 2 takeaways that I'll share with you from the training at City was give 2 business cards out and farm your neighborhood. Those were my 2 takeaways. So they were saying 2 business cards, because when you give a business card to one person, when you give 2 business cards, that person automatically gives their neighbor or their next person within their circle your business card. If you're at a networking event, if you're outside, if you're in a group setting, they will literally give their business card to somebody else, and it makes a soft introduction. So we're on McDonough Street. This is in Bed-Stuy, Stuyvesant Heights, but all of this is Bed-Stuy. And this street is actually very historic. It won the greenest block in Bed-Stuy. Go ahead and show them a little bit of the other one was farm your neighborhood. So at the time I was living in Bed-Stuy, 2015. If you guys know real estate, that's the hottest market in the country at the time. So long story short, probably gonna be saying that all this interview, because this is a story how I got started. But I was farming Bed-Stuy, and I bump into Ryan Serhant of $1 Million Listings New York. At the time, there was really no one. I don't want to say no one, but Bed-Stuy wasn't on a map when it comes to real estate like that until 2015. I bump into Ryan, and I give the person in his circle, I give them 2 business cards. They automatically give it to Ryan, and that was a soft intro. So I stopped doing rentals in Manhattan, and I focused on my neighborhood in Bed-Stuy for like a good 3 months of just figuring out what properties are on the market, what are the comps, what's selling, what has those green boards around it where there's some construction going on. And as I'm walking one day, I'm like, you know what? Let me stop doing Manhattan rentals. Let me focus on my backyard. I bump into Ryan, and Ryan gives me an opportunity a month later. So I give him my business card. We chop it up on Tompkins and Jefferson. Troop and Jefferson. And a month later, he emails me, hey, have you ever sold a house before? And I said, I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no. The next day I'm comping, getting comparables for sales of a 2-family brownstone that was part of a portfolio that he was selling. So listen, I never sold a house before. I was just learning about comparables, getting similar sales that sold in the neighborhood to compare the property that you're trying to sell, to price the property that you're trying to sell. So this property was on Monroe between Malcolm X and Patchen, and the developer wanted to get 1,799. And I comped it as, not really knowing anything about real estate. I'm like, oh no, this property is probably worth 1.6, 1.5. And that's what it was at the time, but they were pushing the prices. So I comp it, they give me the listing, and I'm working for Ryan at the time. And I leave City Habitats. This is the key part of the story. I meet Ryan, and I never did my 6 rentals at City Habitats. My picture was left on the wall as one of the last remaining few. It's kind of like a wall of shame because they wanted you to get 6 rentals before you got into sales. My photo was left there. I think 1 or 2 other people that never got to the 6 rentals. Matter of fact, I never did rentals. I was just focused on trying to get these sales or trying to learn the market when it came to brownstones, because I wanted to do $1 million plus listings. So I go up to my manager and say, hey, I got an opportunity with Ryan. And he's like, what, he's just gonna give you listings? And I was like, yeah, maybe. So I took the opportunity, I said yes, and I started managing a portfolio of brownstones that had about 70 properties in it. So I was excited. I said yes. They didn't really know what I was doing, but it was kind of like guerrilla style. Just go and figure it out as you go. And literally, that's what you kind of have to do. So whoever's trying to jump into this game, jump into this real estate, it is a game. It's like a sport of business, right? Real estate. You just got to go. You just got to say yes and figure out as you're going, what are the next steps. And that's the approach I took. So going back to the 2-family brownstone on Monroe, we staged it, took photos. We were working with a designer. I was working hand in hand with the developer, took photos, and I kid you not, I think within 3 weeks of it being on the market, I get a full ask. Price. Someone offers a full ask at 1.8. And I didn't even know what to do. Like, what do you do next? So getting the contract out, all these things. Full ask at 1.8. I called the developer up. I was actually on my way to my friend's wedding in Rhode Island, in Newport, Rhode Island. And I'm like sitting at the rental car place, like trying to write up a contract. And I'm like, hey, Ron, his name is Ron. We got full ask. And his first reaction was, get the out of here. He didn't even expect it. So again, this is 2016, I believe 2015, 2016. So prices started moving up. We got 1.8, and that was the beginning of my real estate career of selling brownstones between the 1.8 to 2.2 price point in 2016. That's how I got started on Ryan Serhant's team. He gave me an incredible opportunity to learn, and I took it was like an intern position. You guys, I was working to learn, and not necessarily for money, but he gave me a small percentage, and then as I proved myself, I began to get a higher cut back when he was with Net Seekers, and I joined Net Seekers. I joined his team for about 1.5 years, and we leveraged that and opened up an office in Brooklyn. And when the Brooklyn office opened, that's when I kind of leveraged that relationship and the people that I was learning and knowing and working with to go out on my own as an independent agent almost 2 years later with Compass. Compass attracts me. They give me some marketing dollars, and I'm doing the work on my own. And then I realized like agency was something that for me, was not necessarily my end all be all. That wasn't my goal, and I was aggressive on wanting to be a real estate developer. I saw the people I was working with, I saw the checks come in, and even before I started, as an agent, I wanted to develop property, even back in my Massachusetts days. So my whole goal was always to be a developer, and I was pursuing that. So I leave Compass, and I link up with a few developers who are doing what I want to do. And same process, I kind of interview them, they kind of interview me, and I made a relationship with one of these developers, and we've been working ever since 2018. So that was kind of a fast forward, kind of fast track of my real estate career from 2016, 2015 when I moved here. Now we're at 2022. And for the past 4 years, I've been working in-house with a developer, private family business, who are buying property. I'm working kind of acquisitions and sales, buying property, buying brownstones, 2-3 families, and now we're looking at commercial property, residential, that is 5 units and up. I have my own brokerage, the Jasmin Group. I have an agent that works with me. He's a great help. He also does property management. And we're looking for property. I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to sell. You know, Brooklyn just has that appeal. It has something about it where you feel like you can stay here for a little bit. It's not Manhattan where it's busy and bustling, but you know, you have your tree-lined homes, you have your aesthetics with the brownstones, and the pace of living is a lot slower, and you get to experience the city like, you know, a few stops away. But as far as career-wise, man, New York City really changes the dynamic of what you want to do. It accelerates it, meaning like if I was doing real estate in New York, in Boston, I'm not sure my career would have turned out the way it has right now in New York. Bumping into Ryan 3 months into my stay here in New York, and #1 team in the country according to the Wall Street Journal, and I bump into him and he gives me an opportunity. So I don't get that back home, right? I don't get that experience back home, and it changes the trajectory of my life and regarding like my endeavors for real estate, becoming a developer. I'm able to learn basically from studs to staging on how to build a property, how to stage a property, how to configure a home, what people want in regards to aesthetics like room count, all of these things that go into building and designing a home. I'm able to experience it from the street level. Hey, what's up? It's Andy again. We're here at Fulton Park, Bed-Stuy. That's actually the Utica stop on the train station, the C Local, the A Express. I wanted to take you guys on this walk because this is part of the reason that made me move here, because I didn't realize the beauty of this neighborhood. This was something very new to me. So take a look at Stuyvesant, a lot of historical landmark brownstones. And I want to tell you a short story. My girlfriend, who is my wife now, but girlfriend at the time, was living in Harlem. And I hopped on the phone and I said, you need to see this neighborhood. Like, I'm over here, I'm thinking, you know, look at the landmark homes, the trees. It felt like something out of a movie, you know. So I called her up. Although Harlem has beautiful brownstones as well, I called her up and I said, listen, we need to move here. You need to move down here. I took a walk around Stuyvesant, Lewis, into the Loop on Halsey, and I was like, this is amazing. So I could see myself, you know, moving here. I could see myself raising a family here. So that was my little bit of a Bed-Stuy introduction, and I've been working in this neighborhood ever since. So about 7 years now. My wife and I are now married, 2 kids, and you know, we love this neighborhood. My business is in all of New York City, but this is kind of like my specialty. So guys, thank you for listening. I'm gonna be posting a lot more on this page. This is my YouTube page. You guys know it from the Jasmin Group. Now it's Andy Jasmin YouTube. I'm gonna be showing a lot of my behind the scenes when it comes to producing content, obviously, but also developing New York real estate, the behind the scenes. I don't think we see that nearly enough. We don't see it on all the HGTVs, all the construction channels. We don't see New York City, specifically Brooklyn, from behind the scenes when it comes to development. This is what I hope this page will bring, some insights on neighborhoods like I was talking about, where to go, where to eat, what coffee. I'm a big coffee guy. What's the best cafes, best restaurants, but really a focus on developing brownstones specifically from studs to staging, from acquisition, from buying the property. What is the process of negotiating a deal, like bringing the price point down, what neighborhoods to invest in. These are some of the things I want to show on this page, and also just pulling the curtain back behind some of the things that you see when the walls are taken down. Like, people say, hey, put 200K in, put 100K in, but seeing the budget, seeing gas lines meet electric lines, things that are not supposed to be there, but behind the walls, and taking you through that journey, taking you through that process of finding a beautiful landmark property, finding a beautiful, charming historical property, and adding the restoration, adding some finishing touches to bring it back to life. Whether we hold it for rent, whether we sell it, I want to show you what that process is like, and also connect you with people that can help. So if you're looking to do it on your own, what are some of the bank requirements? Who can I connect you with in regards to designers, architects, contractors, and if I can make any introductions. So also, if you want to sell a house, we're buying homes, we're selling homes as brokers, but we're also buying homes as investors. So again, let me leave you with my contact. It's AJ at the Jasmin Group. That's my email, aj@thejasmingroup.com. You can find me on social at Andy Jasmin NYC. That's on Instagram, and on YouTube, Andy Jasmin.